wrapping paper, you can use Christmas cookie cutters, tempera paint, and large sheets of paper like craft paper. This is a great way to do some practical Christmas crafting with your kids, getting them involved in just making a simple stamped design to successfully make wrapping paper made by children look reasonably cute. I highly recommend don't give them too many options. For this type of activity, this is not one where we get out all the different paint colors and all of the different cookie cutters and stamps. We really liked just using one or maybe two colors of paint with this type of activity and letting them have at it. But there's different combos that you can do for different custom types of wrapping paper. So we did green on green pine trees, and we also did some candy canes with red and white and gingerbread men. You'll want to give your kids some tips about not getting too much paint on the cookie cutter and leaving big globs and pressing down evenly. But this is a really great way to get kids involved in some Christmas crafting in a very practical way and creating wrapping paper that they can later see on Christmas morning, wrapping up gifts from your family, and it's really enjoyable. Then we made these wrapped wreath ornaments. My vision was yarn wrapped wreath ornaments, but we didn't have yarn, so we used green ribbon, and they turned out really cute. You can just get a small cardboard circle shape, just cut it out. It doesn't need to be beautiful because you're going to cover it up completely. And just let your child wrap it. This is such great fine motor skill practice for them as they figure out wrapping it all the way around. Wrap, wrap, wrap with your yarn or with your ribbon. And I did finish these up with the hot glue gun, so that part's not for kids, but added a few buttons and a little bow, and we have an adorable ornament. He wanted those on his door right away. I love sewing with felt for small children as a first introduction to sewing. So you can create mini stockings with just red and white felt or your own choice colors of felt. Layer the pieces, and you'll probably want to pre-thread a string for your child if they're young enough that threading will be difficult. But you can just hand them a embroidery thread on a string. I do a couple of strands on a needle. And with older kids, you could have them do a really beautiful blanket stitch. With the age of my kids, we were just doing a very, very simple stitch going around the bottom of the stocking, so you can create a cute little stocking ornament. You could even make this larger and make it something that you can slip some treats inside, and really, really fun and very useful to get kids using needles and thread and getting to experience this awesome skill and awesome handiwork. Next, we wanted to make a Christmas card using negative space, and our first experiment didn't work super well because we tried using paint for this activity, having them fingerprint paint around a stenciled Christmas tree. I don't recommend using paint. We actually went back and tried it again the next time with ink, and that worked much better. So you can kind of see the initial not so good with the paint. It was still fun because sticking your fingers in paint is fun. But when we started using the ink, that definitely worked better with this. So this is more of an ink activity. And you do want to make sure that your children really put their fingers all around the edge of your Christmas tree template or whatever shape you're trying to make. Make sure they get really good all around the edge of that. And you'll be able to make a really cute little design that you can really see once you take off the template. Then the design pops. I did use masking tape to stick down the templates. And there we had our little Christmas tree, negative space Christmas tree, and a lot of fun sensory activity for the kids. But for sure I recommend the ink and not paint. Then you can make little candle holders using any kind of recycled jars. These were baby food jars from back when my oldest was a baby, so they've been sitting around in a box for a while. So you'll need some tissue paper and some just craft glue. Now, of course, you're not making these to leave candles unattended or do dangerous things with candles. Always keep safety in mind with glass or fire with children. You can give your children squares of tissue paper and they can create their own designs. We had some choosing to do patterns or stripes, or some choosing a more abstract design. You don't really want to go too thick, and you can paint over the tissue paper pieces with glue to seal down the edges when you are done. Next, bookmarks. Now this might not seem like the most Christmassy of craft, at least not with the colors my kids chose, but bookmarks can make a great gift that kids can actually be a part of giving. If you are giving a book to a friend or family member, your child can make a bookmark to give alongside it. So we liked letting them paint and then adding on their own quotes that they chose or quotes that they love to say, and adding a little embroidery tassel to the end. This is an adorable little cinnamon air freshener or ornament that adds a little bit of cinnamon scent to your Christmas tree. Simply tie lengths of ribbon around a cinnamon stick. We tied them all the same length of ribbon, and then I trimmed the ribbon afterwards in order to create the shape of the Christmas tree. And I definitely recommend trimming the ribbon after you've tied all of them on. This is great knot tying practice for little hands because that can be a tricky skill to master. So let them take their time, show them, demonstrate it, but also let them practice with tying the knots. It's tricky to get the hang of it. And after we tied the knots, then I would trim the ribbons in order to create the tree shape. And at the end, again, this part is only for an adult, used a hot glue gun to add a little button at the top of our Christmas tree and a hanger. So the last bit was added with a hot glue gun, and they smelled delicious. Now this craft activity is one that children can create and give away. I will link to a great hot chocolate recipe below, but we love to make homemade hot chocolate mix and gift it to friends and neighbors around this time of year. And it's such an easy activity for kids. It's not really cooking, right? You're just mixing together some ingredients, and that's fun. And has a very delicious result that you can enjoy yourself as well as gifting to others. So we love to make hot chocolate every year. All right, I hope you got some great inspiration for Christmas crafting in your own family from these few ideas. Let me know down in the comments below, what are your favorite Christmas crafts to do with kids around this time of year? See you next time. Bye.